A very good morning to you and welcome to the Morning Uplift show with me, your host, Protas. We do hope that you have woken up well and you are doing great this wonderful morning. My name is Protas and welcome for the Morning Uplift show. We always come to you right here on Truth TV Studios and coming to you live from Truth TV Studios each and every day from Monday all through Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. for our power-packed breakfast show. And you do know that we are the best of the best breakfast show as we give you each and every day a word to keep you pushing and also making sure that you are learning continuously and ensuring that you are growing in various aspects of life. Right about now, I want to get into our devotional of the day. Then later on, we'll be giving you our inspirational video of the day. That is our motivational video for you just as you get ready to start off your day, or probably if you are already started off your day, just to give you a bit of encouragement even as you go about your day, go about your different activities, and just making sure that you are, equipped and ready for the day. Later on, also, we'll be having our third segment of the day. And if it's Thursday, we are talking about health and wellness. Particularly today, we'll be talking about mental health. And we'll be having our guest in studio to just help us understand what exactly is mental health. What does it encompass, and more so the importance of just making sure that we keep check of our mental health. So if you just have any questions on the same, please do send in your feedback via the number that is on your screen if you're watching us live on Truth TV, or if you're watching us live on YouTube or Facebook, you can send in your feedback via the comment section that is on the chat that is online or live streaming at that moment. Right about now, I want to get into a devotional of the day, and particularly today we are talking about spiritual warfare. I want to understand what exactly is spiritual warfare, why is it important, and why also, most importantly, it is for you to just make sure that you are not walking in ignorance, in particular when it comes to spiritual warfare, and just making sure that you understand it wholly and fully so that you are not caught off guard in this Christian life and walk of our Lord Jesus Christ, and just getting to know him better and better, and even as we are making sure that we are growing in our own personal life. Well, I understand that when it comes to this topic, most people are quite afraid of it and they don't take as much seriousness because they feel like it's too heavy for them, or probably their mindset is a bit skewed when it comes to just getting to understand on this very same thing. But today we want to get to understand what exactly does the Bible say about spiritual warfare, and also more so just get to know what exactly do we also need to do, what role do we play, especially when it comes to spiritual warfare, and just making sure that you don't have that skewed perspective or that ignorant perspective about spiritual warfare. And so we'll be reading from two main scriptures, but first off, we'll be starting off from Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. I'll be reading from two main versions, that is the King James version, and later on the TPT version, that is the Passion Translation. And this is what it says: "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." That is Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12 from the KJV version, that is the King James version. Allow me to read it once again. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." And also we'll be getting to read from the TPT version, that is the Passion Translation version. And I'll be reading from our main scripture again is Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12, but allow me to read from verse 10 just to make sure we get a bit of context. That is from the TPT version. It says, "Now, my beloved ones, I have saved these most important truths for last. Be supernaturally infused with the strength through your life union with the Lord Jesus Christ. Stand victorious with the force of his explosive power flowing in you and through you. Verse 11 says, put on God's complete set of armor provided for us so that you will be protected as you fight against the evil strategies of the accuser. And so just before we get to our main scripture of the day, it tells us to be fully equipped and fully put on God's complete set of the armor provided for us so that we'll be protected as you fight against the evil strategies of the accuser. We'll be getting to understand that a bit later on this week, hopefully, but for mainly our verse of the day comes from verse number 12, which says, your hand-to-hand combat is not with human beings, but with the highest principality, rebellion under the heavenly realms, for they are a powerful class of demons and evil spirits that rule the world. So we are made to understand that each and every day, this warfare that we are experiencing, it says from the book of Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12, and particularly in the TPT version, this more expanded version, for you to understand that your hand-to-hand combat, your hand-to-hand warfare, it is not with human beings. It is not with human beings. So we really understand hand combat or our hand-to-hand warfare, it is not with human beings, but we are being made to understand that it is with the highest principalities and authorities that are operating in rebellion under the heavenly realm. For they are a powerful class of demon gods and evil spirits that hold this dark world in bondage. So at this point, you are also made to understand from scripture that, particularly number one, they are a powerful class of demon gods and evil spirits that hold dark, or rather hold this dark world in bondage. So that's first. And also we're being told the highest principalities and authorities that operating in rebellion. And so we need to understand that, number one, we are not in combat with human beings, but we are in warfare with the highest principalities and authorities operating in rebellion under the heavenly realms, because they are a powerful class of demon gods, small letter G for matters of clarity, and evil spirits that hold this dark world in bondage. And with that understanding, let's get into our devotion of the day. And we're saying that spiritual warfare should not be understood from a carnal mind or a carnal perspective. We should never have a carnal perspective and an understanding when it comes to spiritual warfare. And this scripture for this morning is very clear that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. We do not wrestle or combat with humans or our day-to-day people that we get to meet. We actually don't wrestle with them. We don't wrestle with flesh and blood, but it tells us clearly we wrestle against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness, even in high places. And so we are saying that spiritual warfare should actually be understood from this perspective, that we are not wrestling against flesh and blood, but really we are wrestling against principalities, powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against this particular people and this spiritual wickedness in high places. And so we are being told that we are not wrestling against flesh and blood, and I are actually clear on that. And what this means is that nothing happening physically cannot be explained spiritually. I'll repeat that again, that whatever is happening physically cannot be, or rather, it means that nothing that is happening physically cannot be explained spiritually. Let's take the example of probably a disease. Probably you've fallen sick, or maybe someone around you has fallen sick. And if you must win against sickness, you should firstly understand that the source of all disease is actually demonic, because God says that He came to give us life and life in abundance. And it's not merely a matter of science, as much as we might tend to think it is, but it's more spiritual than you think it is. And so, I actually know people who have treated mental illness for years, yet the cause is actually spiritual and not the stress levels they attribute to a person. But yet, of course, it is still quite important to get to understand the dynamics of whatever we are talking about. It's not also good to over spiritualize some matters, but it is also good to keep that aspect and understand that every single thing is actually coming from a spiritual perspective. But we are also putting boundaries and saying that this does not mean that we overly spiritualize every aspect of our lives. But it's still crucial to understand that we need to get to know that everything that appears physically, it starts from a spiritual realm. Everything is spiritual, life is spiritual, and so we need to understand that whatever we are getting to see on a day-to-day basis, whatever we get to do, or even dream, or even see visions of, we get to understand that everything stems off a spiritual perspective. And what it means that, as much as we're saying also that we should not over spiritualize every aspect of our lives, what it means is that a true warrior of the faith must be able to look past the veils of the physical realm and get to the spiritual realm and get to this point to understand the forces behind the circumstances, of life that with whatever they're facing through. And then with that elevated form of vision, with that elevated form of understanding, they now get to actually fight. They now get to this point of where the verse of this morning is saying that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So it's very, very crucial for us to come to this point of understanding that, whatever we are seeing physically, whatever is happening around us, it stems off a spiritual place. And it is very crucial for us who are actually in the faith to have this elevated understanding. And so coming from that understanding, even when it comes to our different, aspects of life, we'll not be looking at things at the physical aspect, but we'll be having that intentionality to actually see beyond the veils of the physical realm and actually attribute it and say that truly, truly, truly this is stemming from somewhere else. That is a spiritual perspective. So as we wrap up this conversation, we do hope that we have gotten to understand on that very same topic about spiritual warfare. We've gotten to read from Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12, just in case you are wondering, that says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." And we've gotten to see that spiritual warfare should never, never, never be understood from a physical realm, or rather from a carnal perspective. It is important for us as Christians to understand it from a spiritual perspective. And because we've gotten to also read that, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, and we've gotten to hear in clarity what the Bible says on the same. And we've also gotten to understand that nothing that can happen physically cannot be explained spiritually. Everything that is happening physically can be explained spiritually, because life is spiritual. It stems from a spiritual perspective, then it comes to the physical. And we've also gotten to, seen the example of a disease. If you must win against a disease, if you must win against sickness, we have to understand that this sickness is not from God, but it is something else. It is stemming from somewhere else. And just also making sure that we understand what the word says about our situations, so that we walk in liberty, so that we are not held in bondage by these particular circumstances that are happening around us. It is quite an interesting topic that we have talked about this morning, but we do hope that you've gotten to understand on the same. That is spiritual warfare. Right about now, I want to go for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we'll be giving you our inspirational video of the day. Then later on, we'll be talking about mental health for our third segment, because as it's Thursdays, we always talk about health and wellness and just making sure we are helping you at a personal level to just make sure that you are growing in the right ways, you are understanding more about your health, and most importantly, you are also growing in terms of the faith. But right about now, let's take a short commercial break and see you after the break.
Welcome to Annie Planet, where the wonders of the animal kingdom come to life. Join us on a thrilling adventure as we explore the untamed beauty of nature and witness the extraordinary lives of creatures big and small. From the mighty jungles to the vast oceans, Annie Planet takes you on a journey beyond imagination. Get ready to embark on a wild ride filled with captivating stories, stunning visuals, and fascinating facts about our planet's incredible inhabitants. Annie Planet, where every creature has a tale. Don't miss out on the adventure. Every Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. only on Truth TV.
Hey there, welcome back to the Morning Uplift show with me, your host, Mercy Protas. We have just concluded our devotional of the day, and today we were helping you understand on spiritual warfare. We got to read from Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12 that tells us we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but we've also gotten to see that whatever happens physically cannot, it is not impossible to actually explain it from a spiritual perspective, because life is all spiritual. Whatever happens physically, it stems from a spiritual perspective, and we've gotten to understand the dynamics of spiritual warfare. Right about now, I want to go for a short commercial break, or rather I want to give you our inspirational video of the day, pardon me for that, and then later on we'll be giving you our third segment of the day on mental health. You'll be getting to understand all things matters mental health, but right about now, enjoy this video. We do the hope that you get inspired from it and by it. Enjoy.
I've been there a lot in my life, especially before my car accident, my teenage years. Then the first woman I ever loved, we had a big breakup, and that breakup sent me down into depression and suicidal planning. And it's tough to dispense advice to people other than get help. And I'll share why. Because that time in my life, I had so many people coming up to me. My friends would come into my dorm room and they're like, Brendan, let's go do something. And the hope is lost. And what people, I think, make the mistake of trying to do is hype people up. Everything's gonna be okay, you're gonna be great. The most important thing is when you are super down, outside of finding that emotional reasoning for where you are, is to start getting momentum. Because with momentum comes hope. With momentum comes motivation. With momentum comes, that feeling that there's a reason for tomorrow. And so it's as simple as just saying, okay, what are 3 things I'm gonna do today? Dude, sometimes that first goal is, I'm gonna shower today. I'm really gonna shower today. I'm gonna walk to the library. I'm gonna come home. And that's all they got. Like literally, that's all they got. And you gotta honor that struggle when you're in that place. Like, know that where you're at, it is okay that you're there, and now you're gonna need help, and now you're gonna have to set up some daily practices just every day, win a little bit. Not like win your dreams, not like crush through goals, not like be a badass, not like, no, just momentum, man. Gloomy and bad, dark days, trust that those are going to be there. They'll get less and less and less as you learn how to cope, but they're gonna be there. And so when they're there, it's one of outside of teaching people to bring the joy in my life, I teach people to honor the struggle, honor the difficulty. When we honor the struggle instead of hate the struggle, we can really achieve extraordinary things because our mindset's in the right place.
In your hands, this very moment is your journey, the journey that allows you to be someone fueled by your potential. Take the risks that allow you to become something more, that allow you to change your view on life, that allow you to look through a different pair of eyes, one that grants you the power to see something and to know how to change it, to look at life as an opportunity to feel like somebody new, someone with the potential that can keep moving forward. Set yourself your own rules. Like, why play by someone else's rules when you can set rules that help you become the best version of yourself? Rules that don't hold you back, but rules that pull you forward. Be grateful for the position you're in, and be grateful for the chance to give it one more go. This opportunity could be wasted, but being here gives you the drive to put in the effort for your future.
You see so many people stuck in the same routine, and they hate it. They hate it. They're not happy in their life. They're not happy with their whatever they're doing, you know. And if you want advice from me, if that's your life right now, go find something else. Just try something else out. You know, if you're miserable in your life, and I've actually been miserable. People can be miserable even though they have everything. You know, you see super successful people in life, and you think there's no way they are miserable. But that's not the case. You know, even though you are successful and you're doing well, you can still have bad days. I have gone through some very difficult times, to be honest with you, and lately in the last 2-3 years I've been going through some very hard times, very hard times, and I haven't been very open about that. Yeah, it's been very tough for me. I had to deal with some difficult things that I couldn't control, and that's life. Like, I'm human like everyone else. I have feelings. I go through hardships like everyone else, and sometimes you're put into difficult positions, and that's life. It's very unfair.
I think the more things are talked about, the more comfortable we are, and the more we can understand them. When I woke up one morning and saw that in a tweet that Prince Harry came out talking about his depression, it made me really happy. Because I've been places and someone has said, well, you lost an arm and a leg, so you had a right to be depressed, and I stopped him. I was like, depression is real. You don't even have to go through something traumatic. Some are caused by something traumatic. Some can be a chemical imbalance in the brain. And I feel like if you had heart problems and saw a cardiologist, well, everyone would be concerned about you, would know you're doing better, and it would be open and honest with the crew, anybody you work with.
Not weird.
But the most complicated organ in your body, if you have a problem with it, suddenly we don't want to talk about that? No, and you can get over it. And that's what people need to realize. You can be cured. You can get past it.
Today is your day to tell your story, to speak your mind, to tell the truth about your future, to speak about the power you've always had, the potential you've always had. This is how you succeed. You will be your power. You have this power. Communicate your problems. Communicate the power you know that you have. This is the beginning of your power, the start of your progress. Take every day as an opportunity to be better. Every day to have the power to try something new, to become something new. This is where your progress can be kick-started. Accelerate your life into your direction. Now isn't the time to wait. Now isn't the time to waste. Let this be the power that takes you towards your success. This is the opportunity you've earned. This is the potential you've always had. Step out of the crowd and step into your success.
I would lay in my bed and just want to die. I didn't want to exist. I wanted an anesthesiologist to come and give me a shot so like my soul would just... And at the time I was in a belief system where there was an afterlife. And so that wasn't possible. You couldn't be gone. You were around forever, no matter what you did. And in fact, if you took your life, you're not behaving in a way that this belief system rewards you. And so I was trapped in existence. And it was the worst feeling in the entire world because I had no out. But not only that, I had kids. So I had to, I felt responsible for being a father. And so I was building Braintree and, I had challenges at home with my significant other, and I had kids who weren't sleeping. I wasn't sleeping myself, working 24/7, having companies break and all the pressure. And it just drove me into the ground to a point I was just delirious. I mean, I was broke. I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro at the tail end of the situation, and I got sick. I got the stomach virus, and 3 or 4 days in, I had the virus for a couple days. Plus, I was sick with altitude sickness, and I just felt terrible, like the worst I've ever felt. And we got to base camp, and we were at 15,000 something, and I had to make a decision where I was going to climb to the top the next morning. And I thought, let's do it. I'm not going to back down from this, and so I did it. And that 4 hours to the summit changed my life, where the mountain became my problem, and it became a representation of my life. And I started listening to Eminem, my favorite artist, and his defiance against problems. Anyways, I made it to the top, and just broke down and cried. And it was the mountain was my depression. It was my marriage. It was my belief system. And I went home and I was changed. I sold my company shortly after Braintree. I got a divorce. I left my religion. And I was back at my 21-year-old age, and I said, who am I? How do I rewrite myself from scratch? What do I care about? What matters? What exists? What's true? What's not true? All of it.
What a video. We do hope that you have been encouraged by that video, particularly today as we are talking on mental health. If you are possibly struggling or suffering from this depression, please talk to someone, seek professional help, and together we shall conquer it. Right about now, I want to go for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we'll be talking about mental health with a special guest in studio. But for now, let's take a short commercial break and see you after the break.
Welcome to Annie Planet, where the wonders of the animal kingdom come to life. Join us on a thrilling adventure as we explore the untamed beauty of nature and witness the extraordinary lives of creatures big and small. From the mighty jungles to the vast oceans, Ani Planet takes you on a journey beyond imagination. Get ready to embark on a wild ride filled with captivating stories, stunning visuals, and fascinating facts about our planet's incredible inhabitants. Ani Planet, where every creature has a tale. Don't miss out on the adventure. Every Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. only on Truth TV.
Truth TV, empowering you.
Welcome to Ani Planet, where the wonders of the animal kingdom come to life. Join us on a thrilling adventure as we explore the untamed beauty of nature and witness the extraordinary lives of creatures big and small. From the mighty jungles to the vast oceans, Ani Planet takes you on a journey beyond imagination. Get ready to embark on a wild ride filled with captivating stories, stunning visuals, and fascinating facts about our planet's incredible inhabitants. Ani Planet, where every creature has a tale. Don't miss out on the adventure. Every Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. only on Truth TV.
Hey there, welcome back to the Morning Uplift show with me, your host, Mercy Protas. I hope that you are having a great time, and finally, for those who are very anticipating, waiting for this, segment, it is now time to talk about mental health. It is a very crucial topic, especially when it comes to this day and age. And with us in studio is Reverend Mary. Good morning.
Good morning, Mercy.
You look nice.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're talking about mental health today, and I will allow you to introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay.
That is your camera.
My name is Mary Maina. I am a pastor and a psychologist. And I am so happy to be here to talk about this issue of mental health, because it's a concern in our nation today. And so I feel so much privileged, Mercy,
Yes.
to be here to talk about this, because it's a topic that I really treasure because of what is happening in our nation today on issues of mental health.
All right.
Yes.
So let's start.
So thank you so much.
Oh, karibu sana. Sorry about that. Let's start with the basics and just understanding what exactly is mental health.
Mental health is a state of well-being, Mercy, where an individual realizes his or her own capability, the potential, one has, and is ready to use that potential and capability to make a positive contribution in the community and in the society, and also is able to cope with the stress in life, because life is very stressful, and one can go down because of stress. So when you realize your capability, your potential, and you're able to cope with your stress in daily life, then you're able to make a positive contribution in the society. So generally, mental health is a state of just being well in the mind and being able to cope with the situation, because in life we will always have stress. It's hard to live a stress-free life. But how much are you able to cope with it? That is all about mental health. That capability to cope, the capacity to withstand, and it doesn't make you, the stress doesn't make you not able to function, to come to work. Then if you're able to be a master of your own life, to fulfill your goals, we can say that you are mentally well. Yes.
Okay. Does it differ from mental illness? Is there a difference between mental health and mental illness?
Yes, there's a difference. When now you are mentally well, we say you are mentally healthy.
Okay.
And I want to say that mental health is very important because it is the determinant of how even your physical health will be.
Oh, true.
If you're mentally well, even if you get sick physically, you'll be able to heal very fast. It determines how well you cope with life, how well you heal in the physical body. So it's the backbone of everything. So when we say that you are mentally ill, it means that you are not able to cope with your work because you've been affected in some segment of your life. For example, emotionally, mentally, or the cognitive, the mind is affected, which in turn affect behavior, how you behave. Then we can say that you are mentally ill. You cannot control your emotion. You cannot be able to cope at the place of your work. Socially, you have a problem. Interpersonal relationship with one another, you have a problem. You are not able to relate with people. Emotionally, you are not in charge of your emotion. You can't control your emotion. And in essence, all those things affect your behavior.
Overall.
So your emotion, your cognitive mind, and all those affect in turn your behavior, such that you find that you are not coping with people, even family members. And when you are mentally ill, it is not only you who is ill, even the family members get ill too. Because they cannot understand what is happening. So it's a very serious thing. And one thing also I've realized in Kenya is that it also have a lot of stigma.
True.
The problem is people are not able to say that they are mentally ill because of the stigma. They are called all sorts of names. The mad one, the demon-possessed one. So people fear even saying, I am mentally ill. So on one hand, we have mentally healthy person, on the other hand, mentally ill person. This one who is healthy is able to control emotion, and the behavior is okay. Socially, they mingle with people, all right, they can make friends. In their family, they understand each other. On the other hand, emotions, the mentally ill people, emotions, they cannot control. The way they think, the way they articulate issues, you realize there is a small problem. Those are mentally ill people.
So when it comes to at an individual level, how do you come to a point of realization that I think I'm not okay, and not just accepting that I need to seek help? So how do we get to that point of accepting that I think things are not okay?
Okay, Mercy, there are things you can check about yourself.
Yes.
One of the things I've realized about people who are mentally ill, they have sleep disturbances. They are not able to sleep well. Maybe you sleep for 20 minutes, you wake up. Okay, other diseases can also bring sleep disturbances, but when one is mentally ill, then it becomes a norm. It's one thing not to sleep one day, and then the other day you are sleeping.
Yes.
But if you don't have any other disease, physically you are okay, but then you are not sleeping, it means you are mentally disturbed. The other sign that can tell you are not okay is when it comes to your emotions. You are not able to control them. Either you are very, very high there emotionally, or down. All of a sudden, and it's not for one day. You know, you can be down one day because of maybe something that happened to you at the place of work. But when it is a continuous thing for weeks, very low moods for weeks, or very high there for weeks, then you can tell that that person is not okay. And the third thing is your interaction with the society or with the friends.
Yeah.
When you are mentally ill, you are not able to cope socially with the people. You break relationships so fast, and you make new ones again so fast and break. That's not a normal trend. Other people are affected in their eating. They have eating disorders. Either you eat so much abnormally, or you don't eat at all. You have no appetite. That's a sign that something is very wrong. So there are many things that can tell this person is not well. Others are not able to cope with the work in their places of work. The coping become very difficult. So all those signs are signs that somebody is not well mentally, and therefore when you realize those small signs, it's a cause to go and see a doctor.
As early as possible. Yes. Okay, thank you for that. So when it comes to mental illness, I know you've mentioned stress as one of the factors. Are there also other causes of mental illness that bring about it?
A mental illness is caused by many things. One of the things that causes mental illness, Mercy, is it can be biological. There are families who have cases of mental illness, and it runs through the family. For example, a mental illness like bipolar, it can be out of heredity. And if one of the family members suffers from bipolar or schizophrenia for that matter, chances are there will be another member that can suffer from that. So one of them is biological, the other one can be psychological. Stress, maybe because of what one is going through in life, and that stress can graduate to a high level stress, can also graduate to be a kind of a depression. And especially if it is not controlled. Things like things that disturbs kids, for example, divorce. When parents divorce, when kids are very young, they are psychologically affected. Abuse, sexual abuse at an early age can bring a lot of disturbances on children. And in turn, when they grow up, they can develop mental illnesses, trauma, post-election violence, all those things that really make people scared. They can cause mental illnesses in future. Yes.
Okay.
So there are quite a number of causes.
So when it comes to, just for clarity purposes and for understanding, you mentioned stress can lead to it gradually goes worse when it, and eventually just leads to depression. Does it do that?
I wanted to say, or I'm saying this, having stress is okay.
Okay.
No more stress. Stress is okay when it's kidogo, because it makes us wake up early to go and work.
Yeah.
When we don't have money, we are stressed, we don't have money. It warrants us to wake up very early and go and look for money because we are stressed. But stress that is beyond,
right,
that cannot be controlled, stress day in, day out, you are always stressed, then it can cause some dysfunctions in the mind and graduate to become depression. Yes, that's what I meant.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So I'm sure right now we live in a space where mental health is really being advocated for.
Yes.
And so we want to understand why exactly is mental health considered just as important as physical health?
Mental health is very important, Mercy, because when you are mentally ill, there's nothing you can do.
Oh, true.
You cannot be able to work. You cannot be able to relate with people.
Yeah.
So many things. And so it's a loss to a family, it's a loss to a country. And then you disturb any other person because people are not able to understand you, what is happening. So in the space we are now today in our society, it is very important that people become mentally healthy. And one of the things, as I said earlier about mental health, is that when you get sick physically, it is considered as normal. If you have malaria, Mercy, nobody will say like it's something bad, and you can easily go to the hospital. But when you are mentally ill, people have not accepted that you can be sick, not only in your chest and in the stomach and everywhere, but also you can be sick in the mind. That has not been accepted in our society today. And that is what is making mental health very difficult even to treat. Because people hide, yet they are sick. Why? They fear. How will the society take me when I say that I am mentally ill? Sometimes they feel like it is their own mistake to be mentally ill, or there's something they were supposed to do that they did not do. And others feel in the society today it can be given so many names. It can be even be told it's witchcraft or demonic possession. I'm sure you've seen people casting out demons every day on people. And I'm not saying there are no demons, there are. I know the devil is at work. But I'm also saying some of these issues, it could not be demon possession, it can be mental health illnesses. Because when you are prayed for today, tomorrow again, does it mean these demons are not going? It seems like there's something deeper.
Yeah.
So in the space today, that is where the problem is. The stigma in mental health is so much in our society today. And though we have doctors who treat mental health, the psychiatrists, they are few, and again, it's hard for people to go there and get treated because they fear to be seen even going
there.
doctors.
Yeah.
So it is becoming hard, but I'm glad that there is a bit of awareness in our country today, and people are accepting that you can be sick mentally. And one good thing, Mercy, about it is that the good news is that it is treatable.
Yes.
One can be treated and you live a normal life.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that. I know we are talking about mental health today, and just to ensure that our audience, they are quite informed on the same. And just a question on the same. Are there misconceptions about mental health that we need to address? And maybe you can tell us about them.
Yeah, I've just said that there is a lot of misconception and beliefs about mental health. In our African culture, everybody who got sick in the mind was called a mugoroki or a madman.
Yeah.
And they were just left like that.
Sadly.
On the streets, just walking, talking to themselves because they are mad. And people never used to go near them. But we have come to realize it was not even madness. It was a misconception. It was actually mental health illnesses.
Yeah.
And they are different. And they manifest in a different way. When we come to the religious space, it is seen like it is a demon possession or a curse from your father's house, from your mother's house, a curse. So it is given so many names, even in the religious circles.
Yeah.
And therefore, when you are told it's a curse now, the only thing we can do for you is to pray for you to remove the curse. Curses are there, but not everything is a curse. Some of it are just mental illnesses. So some people term them curses, other people term them demon possession. Others is personal weaknesses. You are not able to do this. You are not able to cope with the situation or people. So there are all those weaknesses, curses, demons, madness, or even something you didn't do. And therefore there are some powers following you. All those things are in our society today. But time and time again, with the awareness that is being created, I think we are on the right track. Things are changing.
Yeah. And you mentioned that at least we are fostering conversations around mental health.
Yes.
But also, are some of the ways, are there other ways that we can also break this stigma around mental health and just, make sure that we are having an open conversation toward it and making sure that also we are not seeing these misconceptions actually coming into life? How do we address this stigma?
We can address it by creating awareness through many forums. Like, for example, churches. Churches are good forums to create awareness on mental health. The reason is because when people get sick of mental health, the first person they go to see is a pastor to be prayed for. So pastors are in a very good position to create awareness because these patients are landing in their space every time because they go there to be prayed for. And if pastors were able to recognize maybe this is a demon possession and this one is a mental health issue, it would help the community. There are other forums that mental health can, that awareness can be done in schools, in our TV stations, and it's happening so much, so that the community outside there are able to be educated that there is such a thing, and it's a normal thing, and it can be treated, and you can live a normal life even when you are mentally sick. Can I surprise you? Is that the surprise is people with mental health do so well, exceptionally well in their places of work. It is said that a number of presidents in the US had mental health disorders, and they still worked very well.
Whoa.
Some of the celebrities, Mercy, you see, they are still struggling with the mental health issues, and they are doing very well. So those people with the mental health issues, they are also very gifted, and they can live a normal life and do very well.
Yeah.
And the people we see, some could be suffering from mental health issues, and yet they are still doing very well. So it's not something to be afraid of, or to fail to go and seek help because you are feeling like, oh, I'm done. It's not a done deal.
Yeah.
No. People can still live normal life, work very well. Yeah, because if I may ask you, when you are sick, do you believe that you can get healed?
You have to seek for help.
You seek for help. And when you seek for help, you are able to cope.
Yeah.
And go back to work. It's the same case with the mental health. You seek help, you are treated, and normally you go back to work. It's not something that cannot be treated. It can.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have to really fear what people even will say. It's a normal thing. And anybody can get sick of mental health. It does not choose your class, your education level, the money you have, the money you don't have, poor, rich, old, and young can get mental health illnesses. So it cuts across. It does not choose who is to get the illness and who is not to get. Anybody can get mental illness at one point or another. In fact, according to, there was a report, I think in 2020, if I am right, the former president appointed a task force to check on the issues of mental health in our country. And the findings were 1 in 4 people is likely to get mental health.
What?
1 person in 4. And they also said in a family of 5, the chances are 1 person is sick of mental health. So we are not talking of something that is not there.
Yeah.
The percentage is high, both for the young
And the old.
and the old. So it does not choose who is to get it and who is not to get it. It's not out of anybody's mistake. It's just a disease like any other, and that is how people should take it.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay, thank you so much for that. Allow me to read some of the comments that are coming in right about now. Lona Makungu says on board, thank you so much, Lona. And she asks, can stress cause mental health? Angel Gabi says, Rev Maria, I'm attentive. God bless you. Thank you so much, Angel. And also Monica Kahua says, very important message. Also Wagura says, good morning, Pastor Mary and Mercy. Such a good topic. I love how we are making it normal to talk about mental health. Everyone is a potential candidate, so we all need to take care of ourselves. That is from Wagura, from Child of Destiny. Thank you so much, Wagura. So Lona had asked if stress can cause mental health, but I think you had answered it. Will you want to answer it again?
Yes, I simply say that stress is a normal thing.
Yes.
But when it is too much,
It's too much.
then it's not normal. It can cause burnout, and then it can also lead to depression or the same. So what I am saying is that you need to take care of the stressors. What is
Right.
this that is causing this stress? And address early enough before it goes very far.
Yeah.
Because when it graduates, it can turn up to a mental health issue. And simply mental health, I said, when you are not able to cope with your daily life, when you are not able to have interpersonal skills, social skills, you are not able to cope with people, then definitely it means that you've been affected in one way or the other. So Rona, if there is stress, it's good to address the root cause
Yeah.
of the stress.
Okay.
Yes.
As we wrap up the conversation due to time constraints, we'd love to ask you and request you to, give us your parting shot. But we definitely need to, continue this conversation around mental health. So karibu sana.
Okay, my parting shot is this. We need to be careful on how we live. Take care of our mental health. If there are stresses in your space, it's good to address them early enough so that you can live healthy. And in case you get mental health issues, it is always good to address them very early in life so that they don't become anything that will cause a dysfunction in your life and you're not able to move forward. So treat it as a normal thing, and that way you'll be able to get help. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. It was a pleasure having you on set today. One last comment that has come in. Hannah Kabiru says, hi and praise Jesus. Is there any medicine for the same, for mental health?
Yeah, there is a medication
Okay.
for mental health.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to the doctors, they will give you medicine. There is a lot of medication that has come on mental health.
Yeah.
So after diagnosis, because a diagnosis has to be done by a doctor, because there are so many types of mental health diseases or disorders. Let me call them disorders. So you are given medication according to your situation, your particular disorder. But apart from the medication, there is the therapy. Therapy is the best for mental health issues.
Yeah.
And they go hand in hand. The doctor gives you medication, the therapist do the therapy on you. And when you address or you go to the two people, the therapist and the doctor, you'll be able to cope and you'll be well.
Okay.
So there is medication in short.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was a power-packed conversation. We do hope to have you here once again to also talk to us more about the same. And thank you to you, our viewer, for sticking by with us and just making sure that you have had more about mental health, and more so we do hope that you have been educated on the same. Let's continue to break the stigma around mental health, and let's talk about it openly. And if you need help, please do consider seeking out for help from professional services, and just making sure that you're not alone and you're not suffering alone. But that is it from us right here in studio. We want to wrap up the show, but tomorrow we meet right here from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the Morning Uplift show. But for now, we wish to bid you goodbye. Have a good day, and may God bless you.